This is no coincidence. We cannot make this stuff up. We can't make this up at all. And don't you know, when the Honorable Minister Farrakhan explained to the world what took place in his More Than a Vision experience about Reagan, President Reagan planning a war with his Joint Chiefs of Staff, about 2 years later, it came up in the newspapers. Now be mindful, Minister Farrakhan doesn't have some inside scoop into what's going on in the president's and the military's upper echelons of what's taking place, you know, but God always confirms his servant. It is a confirmation of the revelation. I'm reminded about September 17th. Now, the minister's experience took place on September 17th, 1985. We read about that in the book of Ezekiel. In the King James Version, it talks about an experience that God's servants has where he's taken up in the spirit. And it uses that biblical language. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, and it goes on to say, and the Spirit of God lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the vision of God to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate. So we see where God's servant is taken up in some type of vision-like experience. But what we didn't know, you know, when they have these dates and stuff in the old Bibles, the 5th day and the 4th month and the 20th year, no, I don't know about that stuff. However, some 11, 12 years later, in 1996, there was a new Bible translation that came out. It was the New Living Translation. And in this New Living Translation that came out 11 years after the minister's vision-like experience, these biblical scholars attempted to break down the dates and time. Scientists, scholars, they're looking at scriptures with a scientific mind. So they're looking at the historicity of when these scriptures was given and pointing to, and according to the New Living Translation of that same exact scripture, Ezekiel 8, they stated, then on September 17th, then the Spirit lifted me up into the sky and transported me to Jerusalem in a vision from God. Of all the dates, of all the times, we cannot make this stuff up. God gives you signs and pieces of evidence as to who his servant is.